Hey gang, what is going on? Welcome to yet another special Wrestlemania video, and that's because every year we like to do something special. 2 years ago we did a top 10 Wrestlemania moments video. Last year for Wrestlemania we did top 5 finishers. Now this year we're going to be doing our top 10 favorite Wrestlemania stages. So I have Keith here with me. My name is Juan, and this is Wrestlemania, Keith.
It is. It comes but once a year, but always exciting when it decides to show up.
Yeah, so what we usually do is a prettied up, super fancy video where we already had the nitty-gritty conversation and then you just get to see the final product. But we sort of realized that the fun part really is just hearing the debate, what's going on, the disagreements, because afterwards it's just like too smooth and clean.
And there are disagreements.
Yes. So we've actually had zero conversation about this. The only thing we agreed upon are 10 specific Wrestlemania stages by default. So we're just going to show them here in chronological order. This is not the top 10. And then we will slowly move on to where we are going to be starting up. We're going to build WrestleMania 9. Yes. So that is WrestleMania 9. Check out that stage. Then we have WrestleMania 13. That is with the infamous shattered glass for Stone Cold's entrance.
Goes a long way.
Yes. Next up, we have WrestleMania 15. Simple, but definitely a memorable one.
Indeed.
We go to WrestleMania 17. A lot of people's favorite WrestleMania of all time. Now, favorite stage, maybe? Stay tuned. Next up, WrestleMania 19. We go to Safeco Field in Seattle, Washington. And then WrestleMania went to Hollywood with WrestleMania 21.
Oh, those ladders are so pretty.
Yeah. WrestleMania 24 in Florida. They are coming back in the same place, I believe. But a really cool stage. Hashtag
Indeed.
Palm trees. WrestleMania 27. A really, really big stage. And big, yes. And pretty cool.
Indeed. Big may be better.
Yeah. And this one is near and dear to our hearts, WrestleMania 28, where Keith and I were there live.
And speaking of palm trees, they make a return.
Yeah, and we were somewhere like over here in this little area in the right.
Yeah.
You can sort of see it in the Blu-ray version, but it's really hard. Now, last and not least, WrestleMania 30. A lot of people's favorites. We actually sent out a couple of tweets before we hit the record button, and many people agreed WrestleMania 30 is cool. So now, Keith, are you ready to get this conversation going?
Let's do it. Let the hate begin.
Okay, so we have this list, which I will be updating live. Juan and Keith's top 10 WrestleMania stages, powered by Microsoft Word. Now, Keith, if you were to just by default put a number 10 here, which one would it be and why?
I would say WrestleMania 15 should go in the number 10 slot. It looks cool, but it's very simple in comparison to the rest of our list. Not besides the big sign, there's not a lot going on with it. And number 10. It seems like a very solid number 10.
Just to play a devil's advocate, I do think that's a pretty good pick. Let's go and, just for comparison's sake, with WrestleMania 9. It's one of the earliest ones, but that one had the Caesar's Palace theme, the whole arena. It was an outdoor thing. Now, even though it was simple, if you look at it, it was kind of cool to just see that, plus everybody was dressed, so it wasn't just about the stage or the setup. The people were actually dressed appropriately also.
Exactly, but I think this is a little more unique than 15.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think it should go a little higher than 15.
Yeah, I agree, because if you look, WrestleMania 13 with the Austin thing,
even
I
that
agree.
has a little more going on.
Yeah, so let's actually write it over here. Hopefully I don't misspell it. WrestleMania 15. I'm not going to do Roman numbers. I'm just going to do, good old-fashioned numbers because
It's a good idea, because something will go wrong.
Yeah, and I don't want to be called out on it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so number 9. I'm going to throw one out here and say, looking around, I'm just browsing here. I'm going to have to put WrestleMania 9.
Yeah, it's fair. It's once again, it looks cool. It's really one of the as far as thematic WrestleMania stages goes, and just WrestleMania themes in general. It's definitely one of the most that they committed to. But just in this company, I don't think it hangs quite well. So, yeah, I agree with you. WrestleMania 9 should be number 9.
Yeah, and I will say, if they had made this a little bit bigger, now the arena I don't think really helped a lot, but if this became a bigger stage, so you felt like Caesar's Palace, you think of Caesar's Palace is like big, but this was like a tiny entrance, and
I
the
guess
material.
At this point we should say is that what we're basing this on is the actual stage itself, not the entire presence of the arena. Yeah.
So if you take out the people that are dressed accordingly, etc., you're just dealing with the stage.
JR in a toga, and it could have been a little more.
Yeah. So let's see here. So far, it's a pretty friendly thing. I'm wondering if it's going to change throughout time. But at number 9, we have WrestleMania 9. Kind of fitting.
Fitting.
Okay, Keith, give me your number 8 possible
number
entry.
8? And I feel like this is going to be the last easy one here. But number 8, I'm going to say WrestleMania 13. There's not a lot going on. And the thing that I think really puts it above the other two on our list is more of a moment than the actual stage itself. And that's how it's set up. The whole iconic Stone Cold Steve Austin glass shattering entrance that basically it was used in almost everything Stone Cold related for the rest of his career. But I mean, it's got a cool theme going on with the purple and the flames. It was very WWE at that time. It reflected it well. But yeah, I think number 8's a good place for it.
I agree. One thing I really liked about this setup more so than the other ones is that the whole tunnel thing. WWE for many years had a tunnel where you felt like, they're about to come out. Every other stage, really, as cool as they are, if you think about it, it's a curtain or just something. It's super simple when they actually come out. But here there was a build-up, even with the Austin 316 thing. Now I'm trying to think if there's anything else I may switch it for. And honestly, the only one I could maybe contemplate is WrestleMania 21. And the reasoning is, if you go look at WrestleMania 21, at first you think it's cool, right? But realistically, it's just a big screen with a couple of things around it. Whereas with WrestleMania 19, they had like a different, like the ramp itself was freaking huge. And the way that they had the layout I thought was unique. Whereas 21, cool, but not amazing.
That is true, but at least for me personally, the fact that the Titantron was a giant movie screen goes a very long way. I still think that's very cool, especially with the it really played up to the WrestleMania Goes Hollywood theme of that year.
Yes, I'm going to have to agree. I think WrestleMania 13, it's super cool and iconic because if it wasn't for that, we really would never have gotten that literal glass shatter for Stone Cold's entrance. So let's pull up the list over here. So at number 8, we have WrestleMania 13.
All right.
Making good progress here.
This is where it gets interesting.
Yeah. So I think by default, you may know what my next pick is, and that's going to be WrestleMania 21 for what I mentioned earlier. I think it's a cool stage. I like that they have the side areas because of the way John Cena came in, etc. Like, it's an accessible stage. A lot of stages are super huge, and maybe they don't allow for unique entrances with cars, etc. But this one, it does go with the theme for WrestleMania Goes Hollywood. But after you see the text, which is on the left side, not much else for me. Whereas with WrestleMania 19, the ramp and everything else just made it that much more special. See,
I'm going to have to disagree and think that WrestleMania 21 should go above 19 because this is going to be an ongoing theme for me, but theme of the stages goes a very long way. With 19, it's just kind of, at least in my opinion, oh hey, they cut up the Titantron to look cool. Like, yeah, the stage is long and stuff, but there's something else on this list that did that better as far as I'm concerned. So, the fact that 19 was really one of those last WrestleManias that was just, hey, here's a big Titantron that we did something new with. kind of loses a couple points with me, where you have WrestleMania 21, where once again it's just the giant movie theater screen and the Titantron's playing on it, and it's got the whole red carpet thing and like the Hollywood sign, and the on the other side, I believe, it's just out of shot on this, but they would also have like a now playing John Cena versus JBL thing on the side of the screen. The theme of this one was incredible, and I think it should be a little higher on the list. And to kind of sacrifice it, I would say WrestleMania 19, should go in its place.
Just to clarify, because this may come up a lot, we're talking about the stage, but the ramp is an important part of it. How important do you think that walkway is, as opposed to just the primary stage itself?
The walkway is much more important for the wrestler itself. Like, the stage is what it is. It's the cool design. Not a lot happens there, really, but it's that walk to the ring that really builds momentum, builds excitement for a match. And having more of that makes for a very cool moment. It's something, once again, I'll probably bring up later on. But yeah, I guess we need to stop and ask, how much are we factoring in things like ramp opposed to just the stage itself, like as a one-piece thing?
Yeah, because I guess let's go back to 19 and compare a little bit to 21. So 19, I think the fact that even though it's simple, it's huge, because, that ramp just felt eternal, but I thought that was really cool. It should have sucked. Like, if you were near the top of the entrance and you want to watch a match, like, how does that even happen? I legitimately don't know. But after a while, yeah, I guess you can say it's a little simple. Whereas,
so instead of just beating around the point, I'll just say what I was getting at earlier is that WrestleMania 17 did that so much better.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Like, as far as the whole big walk down the aisle, it doesn't, as far as, in my mind at least, WrestleMania 17 and 19 aren't comparable. Just think about, even with the Undertaker driving down on the motorcycle and stuff, it was a very different thing, and I think 17 just eclipses it.
Yeah, okay, you sort of sold me on that, because we've been focusing on two Manias and not 17, and when you look at that, the lights and everything, the big side plates, yeah, I'm going to have to actually agree, WrestleMania 19. So let's actually pull up the list. So at number 7, we have WrestleMania 19.
All right.
Okay, we're almost halfway there, people. Okay, so what's your pick?
I'm gonna have to go with WrestleMania 27 on this one. It's a very cool looking stage. It looks awesome, but I'm gonna go back to my same fight theme. What is the theme here?
Besides, for context,
big and flashy.
Yeah, like, for context, let's look at a couple others. Like with WrestleMania 24, you felt the theme of, you're in Florida, so the palm trees. WrestleMania 21, it went Hollywood. WrestleMania X7, it just felt epic. Yeah, when you look at that ramp and everything else, it's great. WrestleMania 28, you go back to Florida, you feel the palm trees surrounding the ring. Yeah, 27's a big stage. It is a really big stage. I'd say it's aside from the Miz's entrance where he had the whole awesome thing and then he went past it.
It didn't really get utilized much.
Yeah, and the wrestlers, if anything, and I may agree, they felt a little small coming out of the stage.
Absolutely. It's something that they did, because you never really got that feel when it comes to 17 stage either, because it was big, it was epic, maybe not to the same scale, but nothing, especially when you throw in the ramp into the factor, nothing really felt as small as it did in 27. So maybe this is a case where too big is a real thing.
That's really true. So I don't know about you, but I actually agree with number 6 for 27.
I said it. I hope I agree with it.
Yeah, you better agree. Okay, so at number 6, we have I put 2 T's in it. WrestleMania 27. Oh, man, we got the halfway point.
Okay. Whew.
Balls in my court. I have I think you may strongly disagree with something that's going to be happening really soon. And I'm going to say WrestleMania 28 as number 5. Now, hear me out. Hear me out.
Okay.
We went there, right?
Yeah.
But
now this is very it's very dear to our hearts, but we almost have to take a step back and ask ourselves.
And when you look at the stage, and let me know if you agree or disagree, it is a very wide version of the Raw Arena.
Yeah.
Whereas, go to WrestleMania 24, and the setup itself is different. You have the palm trees, but you have a little bit something else, as opposed to just, well, there's palm trees. Really, if you take out the huge WrestleMania text above the video screens at the top, there's not much else, and multiple other WrestleMania arenas have already done this whole really wide thing, and I just wasn't a huge fan of it. Like, it being there live, I get why they did that, because when you sit down and you see the entrance video graphics that they have, it looks cool, especially at night, not so much during the day, but watching it here right now, I'm not feeling much.
The moment that comes to mind with WrestleMania 28 and what really sold me on this stage is The Rock's entrance in the main event, how it all turned into electricity.
Yeah.
And it just surrounded The Rock. Like, it was big enough that they could do that wide shot of just the Rock surrounded by electricity.
They sort of did that better with 30.
Yes. You are very right about that. So, yeah, I agree. I agree.
Okay, so we love you, WrestleMania 28. We were there, and we witnessed the 18-second match with Dan O'Brien. But at number 5,
how sad.
It's WrestleMania 28.
And here's a fun little game for everybody watching. Watch the WrestleMania 28 DVD or Blu-ray back and see if you can find myself and Juan.
Man, that's okay. Just to make things a little easier, we are both wearing woo-woo, headbands, and Keith is wearing a Dolph Ziggler pink shirt.
Yes, a pink t-shirt.
Yeah, so
good luck.
Yeah. Keith, what's your number 4?
Number 4. I'm gonna go with WrestleMania 17 on this one. Big, epic, awesome. And if we're gonna talk just on a side note, one of the best WrestleManias, if not the best WrestleMania of all time. But it's from that old age of stage, no pun intended, where there was no I keep going back to theme, but there's just not, besides big and epic and a really cool long ramp, there's not a lot there.
I agree. I think that the more you analyze it, I think more than the stage, the whole way how they had the lights turning on the sides, and they had all these lights across, if you look at the left and right, like WrestleMania, you see these green lights, for example, in this picture here go off. I think that made it have a much bigger feel than if they weren't there. I think it would look really stale without them, whereas the other stages, the layout themselves were pretty unique, aside from 21, etc. But if you look at, let's say here, 24, you could remove lights, but the layout itself would be something else. And I do think nostalgia may play a factor here.
Oh, it absolutely does.
Yeah.
And see, this is where the list gets kind of weird, because we're talking about number 4.
So they're all great.
And this is the 4th best stage in WrestleMania history. It's, even though we're speaking in a negative light, it's not whatchamacallit, a knock against it. It's just that I think that there's 3 better here, but it's still great on its own right.
One that I know some people may comment on us excluding here is WrestleMania 26, because that was a really big stage. It had the box set up where it just felt like a pyramid almost. But I don't know. I think it was cool at first, but it just felt like a really big box for me.
I would almost say against that is the same argument I made against 27, where bigger isn't always better.
True. So let's see here. Going to WrestleMania 17, I'm just thinking hypothetically, which other WrestleMania could we include? Because WrestleMania 24 has not been added yet, but that I do think is unique. Yeah.
Of the 4 left, I believe that it is the right one for the 4th spot.
I will just throw this out there. You tell me yay or nay, and I'll respect that. Would you swap under any circumstance 17 for 24?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, because it holds good in its own right. Right? Like, just, you mentioned, the thing that is super obvious to me now that you mentioned it is the lighting aspect of the two. How if you took the lights off of that stage and it would just be, WrestleMania 17, I mean, it would just be like a bland, here's a couple of big signs. One says WrestleMania, one says X7. With 24, those lights don't need to be there. I'm sure they add something. They look cool, but it's more about how it's just a cool looking building. And with the and then you've got the palm trees and stuff like that. I like it better.
The one thing I will say, like, this is the final one. I'm being hesitant about this because, once again, Final 4. So this argument's going to keep coming up a lot. When you look at WrestleMania 24, if you didn't know, there's no way you actually know which WrestleMania this is. Unless you actually saw it, there's no reference for that. And I like that WrestleMania 17 proudly displays the number for this event.
Yeah, that is very true. That's a really good point.
And here's another thing. Context of time, because I know that we're ranking based on progressively WrestleMania stages have gotten better in some ways, right? Or bigger.
Yes.
But when you look at this, think 2 years back. Think 2 years back to WrestleMania 15, and then go to here. Something happened in 2 years that is ridiculous, right? Because even
year to year, think about WrestleMania 2000, how it was just the big block.
It was, and then it went to the screen on the side.
All right, you've sold me. Yep, I agree.
Yes. Okay, so we can agree WrestleMania 24 for number 4, right?
Yes.
All right. Okay, so at number 4 is WrestleMania 24. See, we almost had one nailed in the coffin there, but no, it switched up.
You fought. All right, I'm going to take a swig of water for the working man here.
Okay, this is going to be a tough one now.
And now number 3, easy, WrestleMania 17.
Yeah. Okay.
I can agree with you when it comes to 24. I don't know if it's better than 21 and 30. That's kind of where the line is drawn in the sand for me.
I don't know. Like, I was with you until you brought up 21.
I got to go back to my theme fight. It's, of all of the WrestleMania stages here, I don't think anything does what WrestleMania 21 just stage does to hit home the theme of the WrestleMania they were going for that year. WrestleMania goes Hollywood. You guess what? You've got everything Hollywood related that you would need. You've got the bright lights, you've got the big screen, you've got the Hollywood sign, you've got the now playing thing. It's the ultimate in theme.
Okay, so we're cheating here a little bit. Because of this WrestleMania goes Hollywood theme, realistically, if they had never done these awesome things with the wrestlers doing their tryouts, they were spoofing different movies. Does that play into this? I know that's not the stage.
I haven't even been factoring that. I would say that it almost adds to it, but when in my argument, I'm not even factoring that in. Because those were awesome. Those were probably the best pre-WrestleMania promos of all time, or promo videos. And
this is... I don't know.
It just doesn't hang, Juan. It just doesn't hang.
I'm just looking at 17.
It's beautiful, and okay, so take off your nostalgia goggles for a moment. Does it still hold up? Take them off. Take them off. Yep.
Uh-huh.
Physically take them off. Does the stage itself still hold up in the same light.
Yeah. I'm looking at this picture. The only reference that I'm getting right now is this picture. That's it. Nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at that, and you see Chris Jericho, right? In the screenshot that we have here, he's accompanied by this huge walkway. The camera angle definitely complements a lot of this, because otherwise it would look kind of flat. And he has the different lights. A bad screenshot here where you don't really see his Tintron, but his Tintron's playing. They would also have the match card. Whereas, go to WrestleMania 21, and I know you're going to bring up the not playing thing graphic for the matches, but and funnily enough, this is also Jericho's screenshot entrance here.
Yeah,
but,
you're totally right.
I don't get the sense of, like, there's a wrestler that's going to come out here and it's going to feel huge. I think that if that screen was a little bit bigger, it would have played a bigger factor for me.
But the thing that you're not factoring in there is the red carpet below it. This was the point where they weren't wrestlers anymore. They were superstars. They were they were larger than life, right? So they're walking the red carpet to go have their match.
Yeah, okay, so I may have to agree. A big part of me, and you know this, is still thinking WrestleMania 17 for this spot here, because so we're saying WrestleMania 17 for number 3 then, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm a little hurt right now. I may cry, so I may put on these sunglasses.
Once again, it's one of those things where it's number 3. It's barely a knock to it. Like, the stage itself created great moments. Like, think about the Undertaker's drive down the ramp for his match with Triple H, and just how the length of it really let him actually unload with the motorcycle and stuff like that, and just the length of the Stone Cold Steve Austin walk with everybody losing their freaking mind, it being in Texas for Austin. It created a lot of great moments, but I just think on the whole, it's a stage thing. 21 is more aesthetically pleasing, hits the point home harder, and overall better.
So, having said that, we only have 2 stages left.
There's one that we haven't talked about at all.
Yeah, and I think that sort of makes this anticlimactic.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, I'm just going to throw this out there, and if you agree, then I'm just going to write it, and number 2 would be WrestleMania 21, and at number 1 would be WrestleMania 30.
I agree completely. I fought as hard as I could for WrestleMania 21 to go this high up. I am not willing to fight for it above 30.
Yeah, let's actually just look at the WrestleMania 30 design and why people love the WWE. Actually spoiled this design on their YouTube video. They had Vince McMahon showcase it, or I forget who it was. I believe it was Vince. And this stage basically combines everything that we talked about that we like from other ones. Like you mentioned, The Rock's entrance, right? Like you always felt something regarding the electricity or something. Yep. The crosses all have video. They're not just foam or something. It's huge. The WrestleMania text is there. You can see which WrestleMania it is. Remember my thing about WrestleMania X7? You know which WrestleMania this is. It's
the perfect combination of epic while still keeping to the theme. It's almost like a mix of, let's say, 27 and 21 put together, because you have the giant stage, but it still sticks to the theme. It's WrestleMania 30. It's in New Orleans. They go with the purple vibe of that whole thing. And then, the fact that the 3 X's would turn into Titantrons, and there was just so much going on with this stage. It is the best of all time.
True. I'm wondering how WrestleMania 32 is going to be. I think that it's going to be hard to top this stage. Unless the WrestleMania text is bigger than the arena itself.
Because what did you think of 31?
Not much, honestly.
Yeah, it was, I thought it tried to do 28, but worse.
Yeah. And, I get it. I don't like a lot of these, I I prefer this, actually. I prefer that instead of having elaborate buildings or something, because I know we didn't bring up the New York, New Jersey one, for example. That's another one that people may bring up here. But I like the simplicity of this. It's huge. You know what event you're watching. They do have a theme where it's celebration. That's where you see the crosses. It's not just WrestleMania. I like this purple color. The fact that it's a night, for example, and purple, I think that's a really, black and purple is a really good combination. You have the huge ramp, the walkway, for example. You have different shades of color, like you see the blue video graphic, and then above you see the yellow ones. This changes with every wrestler that comes out. It's just a great combination.
It is.
Yes, so people, our list. Let's just go by this one more time. At number 10, we have WrestleMania 15. At number 9, WrestleMania 9. At number 8, WrestleMania 13. At number 7, WrestleMania 19. At number 6, number 27. At number 5, WrestleMania 28. Number 4, 24. Number 3, 17. Number 2, 21. And number 1, WrestleMania 30. So all that's left now is give us your list. Odds are, and myself included almost, you may disagree with some of these. I'm just going to throw this out there. Most people will probably disagree with number 21, although you made a really good argument for it.
I fought, and I feel real good about that fight.
Yeah, so we had a lot of fun doing this. So if you guys have any recommendations with other videos that we can have this format, we sort of rank this on the spot. And also, do you prefer this type of setup where we mentioned before, we tend to do these clean countdown videos where you don't get to see this conversation happen. You just get to see a brief reasoning, maybe a paragraph, video graphic, and we move on.
Or do you really like this nitty gritty that we have going?
Yeah. So
Even
will
though
say, it's
not that
too
nitty,
bad.
not that gritty. Yeah. It's actually kind of
Next
easy.
time I'll just punch you in the face right at the beginning. We need some more controversy. We need to get Ryan involved in the next one. Fortunately, he cannot be here. Ryan, we love you.
He's the wild card, baby.
Wild card, baby. So if you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, join the family. We have a podcast available every single Tuesday night right here on the channel, as well as iTunes, Stitcher, Tune Radio, and all that good jazz where we talk about WWE, Raw, and all of that good stuff. Any recommendations, shoot us an email, bytethatcast@gmail.com, or drop a comment right here. And remember, give us your top 10 or at least top 5. So until next time, thank you for watching, and we will be back with tons more right here
On Byte That.